Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first stream of the new year. I hope all of you all had a fantastic holiday season, had a good New Year's Eve, and are excited to get into another year of music. We have quite a few people here already. We have Greeter Ryan kicking things off, Mark, Cracked Machine, Evil, FHI, Artist Circle, Gnome Fire, Charm Tiger, Synapse, Pear, Stringhead the Youth Worship, Explosion, Daughter of Janus. We have a ton of people here already. I'm excited about this. Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. And I know we're like 3 days into this year, 4 days into this year. Spiral Out, glad to have you. I hope the new year is treating you well. Let's see, what Will Wood? Dude, that video is doing numbers. I think it broke into the single digit percentage as far as views go. It's in the top like 7% of all videos on the channel. Just phenomenal. I might have to do that more often. As I go into a break, put like a really popular album reaction out to kind of keep the numbers going over the break. I've mentioned in the past, I'm not too interested in the analytics. I mean, if I was, we would probably not check out as much niche art as we do. But, sometimes over the break I check and I kind of see how things are going without putting videos out. And usually I take a dip, but this break I didn't. And I think a lot of that's due to the Will Wood video. Am I going to become a Will Wood fan club streamer? Probably not, but we do have his third album in the pipeline. Someone's requested it for an album review. And after that, I might as well get to the fourth one and finish his discography. So would you look at that? There will be a reaction to all four. I also made a promise to get the first act of The Deer Hunter done by March. So I guess that's something else to look forward to for some of y'all. Let's see. Charm Tiger asked me how my break was. Really good and quite surprising too. Spent a lot of time with family, of course, and lots of good memories there, but also two of my, I guess, childhood friends. We've known each other since we were like 13. But everybody moves, life takes you places. And they came back to town to see their parents for the holidays. And we ended up hanging out in person for the first time in probably 6 or 7 years. And so I had a blast with that too. It was just a really good break. Lots of good times. I look refreshed. I think that's good, right? I don't know. I mean, does that mean that I didn't look good at the end of the year? I was very tired at the end of 2025 though. Yeah, I guess it looked like it more than I expected. Got a little bit more pep in my step. Yeah, I'll take it. That's definitely what the break is for, to recharge and get ready to... When will the AOTY vids be out? I have the albums selected. I just need to create little, like, what would you call it? Like an outline of some of the things I want to talk about in each album. Then I need to record all the segments and then edit the videos. So every year I want to get it out closer to the beginning of the year, but it always ends up being at the end of January. So that's what I would aim for. When will the video be ready for mocking? I already know some of y'all are going to find my choices questionable. There's always some good pop stuff in there, though, and this year is no different. I'm excited to share it, though. I think there's some good stuff, and I ended up with like 33 solid titles that I've whittled down to about, I don't know, somewhere between 15 and 20. I'm excited about it, though. Yeah, dude, pop's so good. I know it's got a bad rap in the metal communities. I did get to BIANCA for not putting out an AOTY video at the end of November. Dude, I hate that so much. And it's not just, YouTubers who do it, but it's also, big award ceremonies happen in November, the beginning of December. It's like there's still a full month of this year. How can you tell me that you found the best stuff when there's 30 days of releases ahead of you? So yeah, I always wait to January for that reason. It's Bianca, right? I think so. Anyways, yeah, I got to it. And it's phenomenal. It's going to be in the list. I talked about it last stream back in December that I had gotten to that album, and it's good. Have I heard of T-pop? No. I'm assuming that's a specific country, so Thai pop maybe? No, I haven't though. There's an art to constructing a truly great pop song. Phil Collins, coming from the prog background, really knows how to do it. Yeah, Phil Collins has a real good knack for that. A few gems and lots of generic crap. That's, yeah, especially in more popular genres. Yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, it's a typo in today's list of artists? Then I copy paste everything, so I'm not going to try to pass the buck on that one, but maybe that wasn't my mistake. Although, there's a lot of moving between areas of text, so it's possible somewhere in there I made the mistake. So it's Bianco. Huh. Where can I fix this? Actually, where should I? Actually, I know where I should fix it. I'll start fixing it as we get Refused going. Not a great start to the new year. Did you really expect anything different? Honestly. Oh, it is Bianca. Okay, so I have the second to last track. Yeah, it is Bianca. So I have Bianco somewhere then. All right, that's what I got to fix. Thanks for that clarification, because I would have been really confused. And T-pop is music from Thailand. Okay, yeah, I haven't. No, I don't think I've heard any pop music from Thailand. That would be pretty interesting, though. Do I accept song requests from SoundCloud? Yes. Absolutely. Anywhere the music's hosted, I don't care. As long as I can hear it. If you are asking about song requests for this stream, though, you're going to need to do that through Patreon, patreon.com/criticalreactions. And today's slots are all filled up. I think the next slot open would be the 18th. What if the music's hosted at my house? If you can live stream it, I'll do a reaction to it. I just need to be able to hear it. Live performed by myself. Yeah, dude. Live perform, record it. Yeah, live stream it now. I will do a live stream reaction to your live stream performance. How's that? Live streamception. Bump everything else. All right. Let's get today rolling. We got some Refused upstart, up first, whatever. This one comes out as from Daughter of Janus. Refused is all I have on the brain after their farewell shows, so here's an earlier song of theirs from their second album. Let's dive in. See what Refused is up to. Yeah, ton of energy as I would expect from them. Ooh. It's almost got a little bit of thrash to it, right? Am I mishearing that? crust. I still need to get better introduced to crust punk. Ooh. Okay. So just energy building here then? Short and sweet, gets the message across, loud and aggressive. I mean, this is Refused. This is what I expect from them. I don't like my lighting setup today. I feel like it's very dramatic. Musically, it's not too far from Tool's early work. I haven't heard a lot of early Tool, but I think I can see where you're coming from. It's really on point for the time. That comment's going right over my head. I'm missing something there. Punk, thrash, black metal all have a lot in common. Yeah, dude, the thrashy part really stands out to me. I hear definitely a little Slayer, some early Metallica in there. The first two Tool albums are all 4/4, much simpler riffs, different bass player. Interesting. I one of these days I got to get around to listening to Tool's earlier works because I think I would like them more than their later stuff. And that's not to say their later stuff is bad. I just find it to be it does what it does well. It takes its time. It's very patient music. And that's not always what I'm in the mood for. So, anyways, back to Refused. I like this. This is good stuff. I think it needs a better production style, which is probably going to be true of a lot of their stuff, being that it's a bit earlier. But other than that, I can get behind the energy. I can get behind the instrumental tones. It's just high octane all the time, in your face. Let's do it. And if the rest of this album is like this track, I think I'd really dig it in a way that, because like we checked out The Shape of Punk to Come a while ago, and I was kind of 50-50 on it. Like I wanted to enjoy a lot of it, but it felt very proto to ideas that I would enjoy that would be refined later. And I don't know what the difference is between that album and this one, but I don't know. The ideas feel like they, at least in this track, they coalesce a little better and actually feel more fully formed. And maybe it is because of this crust punk element rather than being this proto post hardcore thing. Their nexus point. Okay, yeah. Couldn't get behind the vocals. I think that's an acquired taste element right there. I like the vocals, but that sort of shouty thing I'm used to. I listen to music with that, so. The only Tool album that grabbed you, they're in between. Oh, I think that's what Spiral Out was talking about as far as the Nexus point. That might be a starting place for me then with Tool. Gengardivore, welcome. Not sure how long you'll be able to stay. Any amount of time is fine. And there's always the VOD later if you'd like to catch up on things. Yeah, Skiz, I don't think I know The Grudge. Parabola sounds familiar. Where does the Sober fit in there? But I do like Schism. And Sober's a good track. But, I mean, those are their hits, so maybe they're not quite indicative of what's on the album. All right, this is a group that I feel like I need to get into one day, but I just haven't. I haven't heard that track that grabs me. I'm familiar-ish with them, and I love the sounds because they're two classical guitarists, right? Or are they classical guitarists or Spanish guitarists? I don't remember, but I know they do a lot of acoustic guitar stuff, and like on paper, I should really enjoy this. And I just, like I said, I haven't found that song that really grabs me and makes me want to dig into their discography yet. Sober was on their second album. Okay. Spanish. Okay, so they are Spanish guitarists. Let's context first. From Stringhead, let's kick it off. Let's kick off the year in style with a nice mix of Latin jazz and neo flamenco. See, that sounds so cool. Like I said, on paper, man, I really hope this one grabs me. Let's dive into this. See what's up with Diablo Rojo. Oh, they're Mexican. Cool. With a metal background. Interesting. Mark. Ooh. Okay, so what I've heard from them is exclusively like acoustic guitar duets. Brass sounds so good. Is this indicative of their work, or this is because of their collab with C.U.B.A? Oh. Dude, this is solid. Reworks of 9 songs from previous albums. Oh, so this is an orchestra collab, which explains... Okay, so it probably is... The instrumentation of this is from the featured guests, more so than their style. Ooh, that transition was nice. Okay, flute guitar duet, beautiful. pedal tone is a nice contrast to a lot of the more fluid ideas. Kind of lines it up more with the percussion element. Dude, the precision on the guitar work, so good. Ooh, not where I thought they would take that. Yeah, dude, I pulled that one down. I gotta check this album out, I guess. Because I think my problem with Rodrigo and Gabriela is the minimalism of it, which I'm not always in the mood for. Like the musicality and the musicianship on this play is solid in everything I've heard from them, but the expanded instrumentation here really draws me in. And I would love to listen to more of their work that has this larger instrumental palette to it, because the writing here is phenomenal, as I kind of expect from them. Like I said, I've heard a lot of good tracks, just nothing that grabs me. And dude, the brass, the percussion, the duets, the solos, the counterpoint, all of it is just great. And it's all applied alongside this really dancey groove too. It's just high energy the entire time through. It sounds great to listen to. The harmonic movements are great. There's a lot of really cheeky musical ideas in here too. They got a chuckle out of me a couple of times, which is really interesting because it's not funny music. It's not comical music, but it does have these neat little nods in here. And it's this song is like a total package. It's what I want from this group every time I listen to them. It's just this expanded concept. You want to hear it live beside a Mexican wedding or banquet? Just have it live at any wedding or banquet. Would probably not listen to this on your own, but would be really cool to see them live. And great respect for the talent. It sounds like comical music. Interesting. I mean, maybe it's because I'm familiar enough with flamenco that it comes across as like a very serious art form that I don't know. There's nothing in here that really says comical to me personally. So I'm curious about that. Like music that is done tongue in cheek, that feels like it is there for comedic purposes. Yeah, not serious music. So you know, okay, so here's like the thing where the music feels not serious, but that doesn't mean that there isn't serious skill put into it. Let's look at some. I'm trying to think of like parody bands or something. Parody bands is like the wrong word, I think, but something like Ailstorm or who's that? Steel Panthers? Is that the name of the group that does the hair metal stuff? And I'm thinking of I'm missing a really big one right here that I can't think of. But yeah, like a vibe that they're having fun. It's lower stakes, lower intensity. Guar's a really good one too. Electric Callboy, yep. We butter the bread with butter. Dude, that is such a fun group too. But yeah. Yeah, Steel Panther might be in comedy rock simply because, like, I don't know, is there a difference though? It's still comedic music, right? Comedy, comedic, they're the same thing. Tenacious D's one for sure, yeah. You get chills at points with this, but it's because it's pretty evocative of stuff that's close to the heart because you grew up with it. Yeah, 100% too. And like I said, part of it is that I might have a closer relationship, maybe definitely not as close as you though. But I understand flamenco as an art form, and so I kind of approach this from the same perspective. But if you don't have that relationship to the art form, yeah, maybe it does come off a bit more comical. Maybe your only relationship to it is through pop culture or something like that. So there's a difference between comical music and comedy music. Hmm. I I don't know if I understand that difference. They're both. I mean, maybe it's nuance. That's what I'm missing is the nuance there. Nuclear Rabbit, talented but don't take themselves seriously. Never heard of them. Feels comical but not comedy. Okay, I think I'm just a bit lost on this one. Fun but not funny. Okay, I kind of see where this is going. Primus would be a good in between. Yeah, I think so because there's definitely a lot of fun being had with Primus, and they don't seem to take themselves super seriously, especially if you just look at like lyrics. But there is so much skill on display. But beyond that, the music is also a bit more experimental. So it's kind of difficult to put it into the realm of parody or comedy because it's more difficult to really grasp what they're getting at, especially with all their noisy ideas. Lighthearted is a good way to put this. I think there are certainly some heavy parts in this emotionally. There's what was it towards the end of the track? There was these really subtle. I don't think they were key changes, but definitely heavy, large emotional swings that I thought, yeah, they were powerful moments to me. Just really bringing up the intensity of the track. But yeah, for the most part, I'd say lighthearted is a good term for some of this. It's just very fun, dancey throughout a lot of it. Could develop a Seinfeld routine out of comedic music versus comedy music. Uh, Dude, if that's posted online, send me a link to that Fred Armisen thing. I'd be interested to see that. But yeah, that's my first one pulled down for the year. I'm gonna have to check out more of this album, kind of see what else is going on in it. Difference between mellow death and mellow death. Can't forget about also bringing in melodic death metal. It was on Netflix. He had like 6 different drum sets. I got to make a note of this. Fred Armisen Netflix special about drums. All right, I'll have to find that. Can you get past 10 minutes of it? Well, you're quite the contrarian, so that doesn't surprise me. All right, next up we got some JPEGMAFIA, which I don't think I'm super familiar with. I might not be familiar with them at all. Have we checked out any JPEGMAFIA on the channel? Wait a second. Track 6, my thoughts on NeoGaf dying. What? No way. Okay, that is a wild song title. Let's see, we got context for this from Gengardevoir. So I looked through the list of reactions and I was shocked that I didn't find JPEGMAFIA on there. I feel like he's a favorite among online music nerds. Anyways, here's a track from his breakout project that I think is a great mix of fun and eclectic. All right. The Drumeo song with Pisces Ginger was fantastic. Is that a collab with JPEGMAFIA? Let's kick this, see what's going on. Thug Tears. Ooh, that sounds great.
You're a flipper. Yeah.
He disses Bard in a track and then worked with Kanye, posing in a picture with Kanye while Kanye is wearing a Burzum shirt.
Weed, cracking dope.
Okay.
Damn, Peggy.
I feel fucking terrible. All I need is rest. I am uncontested. How can I confess this? Watch how I finesse. About 100 bands. How you so invested? This can't be your best, cause I am not impressed. I must fucking stand.
I don't know about the clicking.
I'm a different shorty. You my favorite time I come around, it's like I dump the band. Bitch, I'm never pressed. Keep a fresh beat. Ride down 86. Hit. Roll deep like the cat. Bitch, I'm smoke. Too fly in the whip. Hit. Fake news, we ain't pressed. Is it safe now? Got my trade pal. It's a bitch wanna test.
Like a 17-year cicada brood is hatched.
Work hard.
That's good.
Work. I feel like I'm about to throw it. Work hard, girls hard. 26, no kids yet. Talk shit, back it up. No faith, bro, shade. Whole game, damn mess. Hey, fuck the captain. Look, no stress.
What genre would this be labeled as?
I keep it ratchet. I like them, yes, Jews moaning like an actress. Bandits. I'm kinda passive. Right.
That whole dip was wild.
We gon' cash it. Dust off them ratchets. We got some action. I'm on the main line. I'm trying to catch him. Okay. Look, I wish a nigga would, man. Look, I wish a nigga would try to test me.
The plunder phonics element is what I was wondering about specifically, because this is
not across many times.
incredibly diverse production-wise.
I wish a nigga would try to test me. I wish a nigga would go get me. I'm a thug, I'm blurring no rap beef. Fuck around and end up on the back street. Been out across so many times. I done did so many crimes.
Don't kill me.
No time. Dog ass up for the new
Hey,
line.
Veiled, welcome. Jess Glynn, welcome to the stream.
I make a nigga cry for his dead dad. I make a nigga cry for his bad wife. I make a nigga cry for. I make a nigga cry for help. I make a nigga cry for himself.
When is the music starting? Gaku, welcome. Okay, so I have thoughts. This is interesting. I don't know that I enjoyed it, but what I found really when Commodore 64 crashed. One thing that I noticed is that there isn't a lot of rapping in this hip hop. There is more of a focus on the musical side of things. In fact, I think within the first half of the track, it was a couple of words or maybe even a couple of syllables and then a gap for the production and then a couple of syllables. And it was more focused on this back and forth between the music and the vocals. I don't see that too often. Hip hop, particularly hip hop with rapped vocals, the vocals are, I mean, this is something I've talked about a lot as we looked at previous rap albums and tracks, is that the vocals are the key element. The music is there to set a mood, to set a beat, but the vocals are dense. They take up so much of the track, and frequently when we have these reactions, the music analysis is much smaller than the lyrical analysis, which is sort of the inverse of everything else I react to. But this kind of divvies it up halfway, maybe. We do get a bit more of the denser lyricism towards the end of the track, but I would say that if we went and looked at the lyrics for this, they probably wouldn't be much longer than a typical metal track. probably what, 30 lines, maybe 40 lines tops. And that just seems to me different than what I expect from this genre. So lyrics are garbage though on this album you're talking about. I do think the production is what stands out the most to me on this though. There's a lot of really odd ideas in here, sounds. I mean, we had the tapping or the clicking at the beginning of the track that was rather prevalent. There was that full on dip. The entire song ducked out for a moment, and for a second, it almost sounded like the song quit. I actually looked up to see if the song was over or if the internet had cut out because I just couldn't believe that we just had nothing for a full second there. So I uh I found the music to consistently pique my interest and give me something new to check out. And I enjoy the ways that even the vocals themselves get manipulated by the production. Specific words will reverb and echo unrealistically for just a single beat or two before being clipped and cut off. And the vocals themselves get moved and manipulated around just as much as the instrumentation does. And I think that towards the end of the track, as the vocals lock into the center place, unmanipulated, unproduced, well, produced as far as they are, not further produced, it kind of creates a normality to the track, as if the entire song were fluctuating and I don't know, shifting until it kind of finds a form. I thought that was pretty cool. You'd have to have patience to listen to more of this. I don't know if it's my cup of tea. I have a few hip hop artists I do want to dive into. I don't know if I'd get to JPEG Mafia in any reasonable amount of time, but my interest is piqued by this. I would like to have a couple more tracks to dip my toes further into his works before I decided to commit to an album. But I do find the instrumentation on this and general production to be quite interesting. All right. Interesting conversation going on about rap lyrics in general. You didn't think I'd like this, but I figured it would start a dialogue. Yeah, 100%. It definitely breaks some of the assumptions I have about the genre of music. And I enjoy that part of the entire reaction thing, is being thrown these things from genres I wouldn't normally enjoy and finding elements or tracks with elements that I do enjoy. Kendrick's another one I got to get to. Outcast I should. I was very surprised with B.O.B. And what's that other song? There's a really popular Outcast track from like the mid 2000s, early 2000s maybe, that I liked. Oh, it was Hey Ya. Everyone liked Hey Ya. That was just so, yeah, exactly. Mark got it. But Kendrick's a recent find that I need to check out. And Little Sims, that's another one. I enjoyed the reaction we did. I checked out her latest album, at least latest as of 2024, and that one didn't quite hit me as well as that single reaction did. So I got to dive into her older work, see what's going on there. Sleep Token did a Hey Ya cover. It ain't gonna be good. Well, okay, let me retract that statement. It's not going to be what I want out of it. It's going to be a very different song. And honestly, that's what I would want a cover to be in general. But the original is so iconic. I don't know how you could change that. So this is an interesting conversation about the overuse of single words. Spiral Out mentions that any writer knows not to repeat words, but I think in the realm of hip hop specifically, where you're going to be using a lot of words in general, the overuse of a specific word can create a phonic percussive element, a way to influence the flow of the song, not by addressing the words themselves, but the sounds of those words. I think that there are certainly cases where overusage of words is bad and it ends up being a detriment to the track, but I don't think you can cast a large umbrella over this. And say that if you use a word a lot during a song, then it's going to be viewed as poorly written. And I think that this even extends to poets and novel writers that, as usual, there's just no rules to making art. So I don't think that there's necessarily a bad thing to reuse a word often, but it does have, I think, a stigma placed upon the genre because of it. And I think that that is valid in some ways, but also invalid. And it just says that you need to seek out more of that genre to really get an idea of what's going on within it, more so than the general stigma it carries from outsiders. Rappers who use the word the and. Yeah. Yeah, I know how the conversation started, Evil. I'm trying to take it into more of a general direction because I feel like when we focus down to a specific word, then it becomes about the word, and I don't think that's always the case. But I do think that that word in music sometimes can come across as a filler word, something like or and or, like, and we all use them in speech, but I think when you premeditate on lyrics, maybe you should have less filler words. But again, sometimes it ends up working really well. And that word can be a great rhythmic element to the song. So it's as usual, there's good examples, there's going to be bad examples. Like rappers that's fair. You like intelligence? I feel like I'm getting baited here. That's a discussion for another day, but I'm going to just say that people who use that word in their music, as long as it's not used negatively, doesn't imply a lack of intelligence. So I think that's just where I'm going to state that right there. Yeah, the conversation's getting real minefieldy. Oh, shading always in here with the hot take headlines. All right. Next up, we got some Cab For Cutie. Home is a fire. Where is this? This is YouTube? This is on YouTube. We got the pound symbol here. Or for you youth, we got the hashtag symbol. This one comes at us from Mario with no context. Let's dive straight into this, see what's going on. Cab For Cutie. Hate when a filler word is used to match the vocal rhythm of a previous line. I'll agree with that. Sometimes that gets me. But like I said, sometimes it works well too, so. Real ones know what a pound symbol is. Yeah, gotta agree with Veiled here. We're gonna cut the conversation. Ay, jeez, we're gonna cut the conversation right there. I just karate chopped a chair. Hey, observe the train. Welcome. Youth Worship Explosion, you really would not like System of a Down's I-A-I-O-I-O-U. I don't remember the title of the track, but it's all vowels. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it's all vowels. I don't know why I second guessed myself there. Corn screams are all vowels. I just thought of someone screaming the letter K, or like the sound the letter K makes. But like without the A at the end of it, just like the sounds. It's a tic-tac board. Tic-tac-toe board. Yeah, that's fair. It's a very conservative track here. It feels restrained at all times. It's not even really a lot of tension. A little bit building, but I don't feel like it's ever enough that it's going to explode. It's just always there. Abo Juiced, welcome. The German CH. Krautrock is a good parallel here. Is this the first time the drums lightened up? It felt like a train this whole time. Yep, I called it. Slow tension buildup, but never enough to really blow the gasket, to have that release. It just is there. Yep, that's the end. Live version's probably better. Yeah, and Synapse mentioned something interesting. Says that it's kind of bubbly, and I do get that feeling. It's light. I think particularly because of the vocals being very airy, but also being higher pitched. What's that? Mixed head and chest right there, almost into that falsetto area, and it's very light, effervescent. It's just sort of there. There's this building underneath, but the vocals are hovering above all of that. And as much as the layers increase in intensity and volume underneath, when we build into the end of the track and finally hit the volume peak, the vocals just float above all of it, and then it all dissipates. I don't know if I'd want to listen to more of this, particularly because it just is. It's missing all the things I love in music, but it does have a nice melody to it, a comfortable atmosphere throughout. The tension does. I want it to resolve so much, and it just kind of doesn't. We have the building tension in the volume and the harmonic of the instrumentations. We have it in the drums, just constantly increasing with that snare roll. And then it just stops. It's an album opener. It sets a mood. I hope the album builds off of that. More like Angel Food Cake than Carbonation. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It's light and fluffy. And a slow build to nothing. Yeah, it's not for me. I'm not the audience for this, but I do enjoy moments of it. The atmosphere is very cool. All right. Next up, we have some Faun Fables. Ember. I've never heard of this group. But that's a very comfy album art right there. Summertime. We got lots of sun. Actually, it's not summertime. Those trees, well, we have full trees in the back, but we have a dead tree in front. The grass is very green. I'm going to go with spring summer vibes. Curious where the album goes after that. See, that's what I'm expecting, that the album runs with this idea of either built emotion and then kicking the next track off with that energy, or if they just have an album of unresolved tensions. It's probably folk. It is folk. Or folk black metal. Yeah, I don't think we're getting the black metal element here. The first C on the album title, Counterclockwise, is way too fancy for black metal. Let's see, I don't think we have, yep, no context for this one from Elbow Juice. Let's dive in. See what's going on with Faun Fables. Oh, what instrument does Nils play in Sleepy Time? All right, Mark, that'll work. Give me a chance to listen to more of them. Oh, okay. So this is interesting then, just from a personnel perspective. The vocals crossfading into the flute. It's a nice drone going on in the background too. Good call on the prog rock vibes too. I like how they haven't completely abandoned that sound. It still persists in elements of the atmosphere here. They just really leaned into something a little off-putting, eerie. Yeah, I think that was a theremin. Well, a surprising track.
Under my heart.
Oh, I kind of figured it was over.
Shame where you came to be.
Some heavy reverb
In the dark.
on that theremin. It started on the right, but I could still hear it faintly to the left seconds later. Like a haunting voice. Yeah, Para hit the nail on the head there with the psychedelic angle. The song started out fairly typical for folk. There was almost zero element that had me thinking that this was going to go in any sort of different direction. But bringing the theremin in and those really tense chords in that bridge, it shifted my entire perspective. I don't know if they were always there or if their focus finally brought to light that they're present here for me. But it's the finale of this song feels so different than the beginning. It ends up feeling a bit haunted, eerie, ethereal. Something just isn't right here. I find it interesting. Did somebody say this was a song about pregnancy? Yeah, Elbow Juice mentioned that they think the song is about pregnancy. Nothing in this track really tells that to me, other than maybe the first minute or two. It's just very light and cheerful. It's positive, good vibes. But there are a couple of those really tense chords, and they lean into this reverb, this eeriness, this echo. It gets dark towards the end of the track. I hope that isn't well, I guess I wonder more than anything what that has to do with the lyrical context. Meditation on the organic complexities of motherhood and pregnancy were dancing to the dark tinderbox. And okay, yeah, okay, yeah, that explains it. There's positivity, there's joy, but there's darkness to it too. Huh. I like music like this, like thematic music like this. It's a perspective that I just, as a guy, I can't have. I love to see more of that. Yeah, exactly. The darkness is having to eat a lot of weird food. Speaking of food, that's my lunchtime alarm. I don't know why I have a lunchtime alarm on Sundays because I'm streaming, but it's there always. Yeah, I enjoyed this though. Good folk ideas with some interesting developments to it. And the theremin, I think, is an interesting choice that works really well. I think there is also that sheet metal, really thin sheet metal that you can create like ripples in. I think we heard a little bit of that in the bridge too. You need an alarm. I do need an alarm for lunch, or I will not eat 100%. I will go the whole day without food if I don't have an alarm. I do. I forget to eat lunch. It's bad. It really is. I have a dinner time alarm. I have a lunchtime alarm. I don't have a breakfast time alarm because I don't eat breakfast. I wake up too late for that. Yeah, good call, Youth Worship Explosion. Just the kid now. Until we figure out something better. You forget to eat lunch half the time. Yeah, it's just like there's so many things for me to focus on that food just never comes into my thought process. It's called hunger. The witch? Ah, I doubt it. I'll bring it up. I don't think that's going to go though. What's your idea? Youth worship explosion? The stomach rumbling alarm? The ghoul? The entity? Man, all these are dark. They're all negative. You get locked in on something, then realize you're hungry at like 4 or 5. That's exactly how it goes. Whether it's, just listening to music, albums back to back, or getting into a video game or a film or just spreadsheets, man. You just get locked in. And then the next thing you know, it's dark out. You don't know when that happens. Hello, Shichi Hydrogium. I probably butchered that name. I apologize, but welcome to the stream. You blame the woke left. Jeez. Submit a list of nicknames and letter choose her favorites. I mean, yeah. I could see that going well. Hello and welcome back with your host, Brian. Stealing my lines, spiral out. All right, we got some Ghost next. Is this? No, this is not the rock band Ghost. Hazy Paradise is our next track's title. I don't believe this one had context either. This one comes from Nate. In Sweden, you got a kid's comics with a wise turtle who has a food time and sleepy time alarm clock. Yeah, dude, I have a sleep alarm too, because otherwise I will stay up until like 4 in the morning. So this isn't Weird Al doing spooky music. Is that your description of Ghost, the rock band? Weird Al doing spooky music. That's terrible. All right. Sleepy time gorilla clock. I want one of those now. An alarm clock based around the Sleepy Time. Why can't I think of the band name? Sleepy Time Gorilla Orchestra. What are they called? His voice is not museum. There we go. Having a real brain fart there. His voice does not fit the music at all. I don't know, dude. I think Ghost vocalist is fine. Yeah. I don't think it's anything I particularly seek out, but I don't have a problem with it. All right, let's check out some Ghost. See what's going on with Hazy Paradise. Well, it has the hazy part down really well. The better Ghost. Shots fired. Ooh, that organ gives it a very distinct flavor of calm, of serenity. What is single ear production? Very cool movement. Oh, I gotcha. This producer only had one working ear. I feel like that sometimes. What instrument is this? Harpsichord? It's a very percussive. That's a gnarly guitar tone. It is a harpsichord. Cool. That's where I was at too, Observe the Train, where it was close, but something about it was a little off from what I expect. Synthesized harpsichord. Okay. Those random, like, 2-bar phrases where the drummer gets polyrhythmic for a moment. It's a little cluttered. All right. So it's a cover of Earth and Fire. I don't think I know Earth and Fire. I know Earth, Wind, and Fire. Are they related, or are their names just similar? A very interesting track, though. It comes off almost shoegazy with the general fuzziness and atmospheric style of the music, but they quickly discard that to stick with the haziness while exploring progressive rock and even a little bit of avant-garde blues. I say that because the guitar solo both times it came in was definitely blues rock music, but the vibrato on it was ridiculous to the point that it almost sounded like it was constantly shaking just while playing the guitar, shaking the whole body. It's a wild sound, and it didn't grow on me. I can't say I was a big fan of it. I liked the solo itself, but the performance of it, the way that it was presented to my ears, kind of got a little tired for me. This is, yeah, Pear, this is a different ghost. Let's see. A collective of psychedelic-minded Japanese musicians headed by guitarist Masaki Bato. Ghost records commune-minded free-range psychedelia with equal debts to Can and Amon dual axis of krautrock, as well as West Coast psych units like Blue Cheer and Jefferson Airplane. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take that if you enjoyed this, you're probably going to enjoy a lot of what they have in store based off that description. What if it's the same ghost, but they just completely changed sounds? Oh, they disbanded in 2014. There's still probably a lot of good music then. Get out of here. Oh, there's at least 8 albums on Spotify, dating back to 97, 96. But it does get very claustrophobic, very cluttered, which is interesting given how open the song starts. That progression is subtle, but once it gets busy, you can't ignore it. It slowly feeds its way in there. There's some really cool counterpoint at the beginning between the harpsichord and the bass. I loved what they were doing alongside whatever the guitar was doing over here. And this was just a little taste of what was to come later as we had so many moving parts. The drummer, I think, is what keeps everything held together, aside from those few moments when it tries to break into some polyrhythmic ideas that I don't think ever really turn into something useful. It's just a drummer doing something different. But everyone else gets really cluttered, doing their own things, lots of sounds all over the place. It's I'm not sure where I sit with it. I like moments of it, but it's a journey I wasn't a real big fan of towards the end. But I do like their overall sounds here. All right, I'm going to pull that one down, put it into the maybe pile, see what happens. We have a double pick here, which is why we only have 11 tracks today rather than 12. This one, oh, dang, I have that all messed up. Okay. The artist is Rimsky-Korsakov. The track is Scheherazade. We're looking at movement 4, Allegro molto, Festival at Baghdad. The only thing I know about this, other than the little bit of context we're going to get, is that it's incredibly dynamic. I have the volume boosted just a hair, so the loudest parts are going to be a little louder than most of the other tracks, but most of this track takes place at a medium or light volume. So I'm going to mute myself as always with this. Y'all adjust your own volume as needed, and I'll let you know when I'm going to turn my mic back on. Context for this one comes from 2112. For this month, I'll be picking the 4th movement of Scheherazade, Festival at Baghdad by Rimsky-Korsakov. My singular favorite string moment, very high bar, from minutes 10:44 till the end, particularly on this recording of it. I tried to find video of this version, or at least a video recording that captures what I love about it, but alas, this is the only one. So, let's dive into this. When was this composed? That I don't know. Hopefully someone can starts loud. Does it? All right. Well, if it does start loud, y'all be prepared for that. Let's dive in, see what's going on. Wow. That's about all I could say about that. It was fascinating to be on that journey up until about like minute 9 or so, when the energy finally starts to die down a little bit. But up until that point, it's just a series of new ideas. I had mentioned that there's a lot of wild shifts between highs and lows, but always forward momentum. There's so many like micro ideas too, and I think that's what I find so fascinating about it. I had mentioned that we'll have one idea, and it'll just be a concept. You hear it in the middle of a larger idea, but then that idea will be focused on, and we'll get this repetition over and over, and then a variation on that, maybe an extra beat, maybe a harmonic shift. Then we'll get a bit of a call and response, and then we'll take over with the variation on the original theme as the new repeated concept. And it's almost as if there's this passing of the baton within this theme and variation, but all done on such a microcosm. And it's littered all over this track. That this idea of the micro theme and variation, I must have heard it 7 or 8 times at least. There is, of course, so much musicianship going on here. I mentioned the double tonguing from the brass at that one point. It was just so quick and sharp and precise, so good. And it was the whole. It had, I think, it was 2 instrument groups at least. So maybe the trumpet and I don't think it was French horns, trumpet and trombones maybe. And just this whole group of brass though in sync on these really ridiculously fast notes. We had really fast runs in the woodwinds all over the place. Phenomenal stuff. There at the end, though, particularly that violin player on the solo part there, really playing triple piano, just the lightest tone. As I mentioned, just enough friction between the bow and the string to create the sound, but not any more than that. Walking that thin line of barely audible, just phenomenal. The entire momentum of this track reaching a peak and then just dipping down into this somber pit to rise out of with elegance, not with power. Just a beautiful finale to this track. I I enjoyed this. I got to check out the other 3, I think. Double tongue. Yeah, what I think is even funnier about it is that you don't use your tongue for the second attack. So, well, actually, there's a few different double tonguing techniques. So maybe in some of them you do, but at least in the one that I was taught on, you use a K sound to create a hard start for your air to come through from your throat, k, k, rather than tu, 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 which is that T sound using your tongue. So it's called double tonguing, but you're actually not starting notes with the tongue both times. So I don't even know why it's called double tonguing. But yeah, it is an interesting name. And I also had to go look up how to spell tonguing because, I got the first 3 letters, and then I wondered what to do with the U and the E if I was adding an ing to that. Twitch censored tonguing? Double tungsten. Hey, Easter Dams, what's up with that track? Just randomly dropping a link in here. Good notes. There's a lot of things I need to do on these Twitch streams, and I looked into a little bit of it about using a bot, and I'm more knowledgeable about it, and I started to play around with StreamerBot, which is going to help for stuff like this where people ask what's up, how to make requests, but also, yeah, a general note somewhere would probably work well too. I tell you though, this is going to be the year. This is going to be a big year for the channel. I think a lot of it's going to be mostly behind the scenes stuff. I don't think too much is going to change on like the day-to-day releases, but I feel like this is the year where this becomes a legitimate music criticism thing rather than just some guy with a reaction channel. And I think it's a lot about presentation, and like that right there, my Twitch front page, there's nothing there. There's a song list and some rules. It doesn't look professional. This is the year I'm going to spruce a lot of things up. And little things like that, make a note about it. Like, that's the feedback I need to help bring this to that next level. Brian Fantano here. I'm never going to start a video like that. Actually, I guess technically it would be Brian Brantano following along with his openers. That'd be a funny way to start, though. I don't think I'd do it. That's his shtick. I was just thinking, what if I shaved my head bald and really went for it, though? Got a flannel jacket. You've always been more than the average reactor. I agree. Gotta do the. I actually do wear prescription glasses. Well, let me amend that statement. I'm nearsighted. I don't wear glasses, but I should. The Halloween costume for 2026. That'd be funny. I think I'd get a bald cap though. I don't know if I could commit to shaving the head again. It's just now getting to a respectable length, It's been years. Kind of think of React channels as a lower form of content, but you're an exception. Well, I appreciate that. I also kind of see that, and I'll be completely honest. I actually started this because I was doing higher effort content, and as much as I enjoyed it, it wasn't bringing in an audience. It wasn't bringing in money, and I came to a point where I needed to lock into something financial, and it was a little bit of weakness where I was like, you know what? I'll go make reaction content. That's what brings in views. And if you go look at some of my earlier stuff, the 8-10 minute videos, it was definitely lower effort stuff. And I think I've built this into something that I can be proud of, where I don't think I was too proud of my early stuff. Should also make the most controversial scoring for albums. Everything's a 1 unless it's pop music. That's the stuff that gets the high rankings. That's going to be my 10 out of 10s. Ooh, how many black metal albums is this album worth? Don't be afraid to pick up an instrument too if you feel the urge. Always. I was just jamming with my niece yesterday. She got a tablet for Christmas, and she got a piano app on it and like a beat sequencer. And so she was just making random stuff. I mean, she's pretty young. She was just put random things in there. And I grabbed my guitar, we started jamming. She was having a blast. So yeah, dude, I always pick up instruments. I hope now that you have a bit of an audience, you can try to do some of that high effort content you always wanted to do again. Yeah, stop reading my mind, dude. Oh, Mark pointing out the rare heartfelt comment from Youth Worship Explosion. A good stepping stone, but still a stepping zone. Interesting. Reacts with a musician's knowledge background. I heard magicians. I don't think I said magicians, but I read that in my mind. I was like, what would a magician's background be for music reactions? But yeah, musician knowledge into a bass reaction. That's pretty cool. Zone was a typo? Dude, leave it. I like it. It's a stepping stone, but we're still in the stepping zone. We haven't made it to the peak yet. Done a terrific job in fostering a community. I agree. I agree. And I think, you know, I don't know that I mean, part of it, I guess, is my approach to music, right? Bringing in more open-minded individuals to the channel and then to the community. But it's not honestly something I went out of my way to do. It's just that's the people that gravitate here. So I'm really happy about it. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to surround myself with and to talk about music with. I do like Doug. Doug Halverson's good. He has a brilliant mind and a fantastic ear, and I agree. I think he could be a little more critical, but he's he's obviously very knowledgeable, and I appreciate that about his reactions. Be part of a community with strong moral values. Yeah, trolling mode's back on. Back to this track though. Wait, I think I said everything I wanted to about this track actually. It was wonderful though, and I do want to check out the other three movements because this was a beautiful finale. So I'm gonna have to pull that one down, especially with this specific group. I quite enjoyed that performance. My reactions are mostly, here's So Candy Pop, now wait for some black metal. Yeah, yeah. I actually really love that about this community too. I think when you see other people's other reaction channels, it's easy to see what type of music they've been pigeonholed into. And like, yes, progressive rock and metal, and most of the extreme metals. That's my niche. That's where a lot of people like to listen. But we also have such a large group here too, and I don't ever feel conflicted about adding music or bands to the reaction list that aren't the metal side of things. And the fact that those videos still do okay analytically tell me that there's a want for that kind of music in this circle, in this community. So I appreciate that too. That I'm not just locked into death metal every day for the rest of my life. I would get so tired of that. And I I'll just leave it at that. I was going to make a comment about other channels, but yeah. I think you have a lot of former metalheads who branched out a lot. Yeah, I can see that. I would like metal, but I come here to hear other stuff. And see, I think that's cool too, because there's certainly people who want my critical take on some of their favorite music, but there's also just as many people within the community that come to the channel for music discovery, to find new stuff. And I think that's pretty awesome too. A former branched out person who branched into metal. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at too. I still don't know if I'd call myself metalhead, but I'm more comfortable within this genre than I've ever been in my life. Thanks to you all. So yeah, I mean, I don't think any of my album of the year lists, if I hadn't have done this channel, would have half of what's on it. So that's a pretty cool thing. I've come to appreciate a lot of new types of music. I want it. Speaking of new types of music, we have a band called The Bottom coming up next with the track Rise. And I've been chuckling about this ever since I saw the request come in. It's just a funny combination of phrases here. Where Brian started as a crowdless reaction channel and hung himself after a month? What? That went right over my head. Where that whole comment right there. I really thought you were going to say started from a crowdless area and then went into pop. That reaction took a really dark turn. Read it again, it makes sense. Alternate universe where Brian started crowlicidical reactions and hang himself after a month. I don't, it's not clicking for me. The second half. Unless I don't know. I'm so lost on it. I'm a producer from Vegas. Are you doing reactions today? I am doing reactions today. All the slots are filled though. You can send me an email at criticalreactions@pm.me. Especially since I'm going to assume it's your own work, and I can do a full reaction to that recorded on my YouTube channel if you'd like. Oh, so I only did Krallis reaction. Yeah, okay, so that's how I read it. A very dark twist to that. I thought there was something else to it. That I can't see that. It would be more like I started Krallis only and then quit. Oh, Mark, throwing more kind words my way. All right, let's see what's going on with this. From Jawron, some Czech post-punk with really interesting atmospheres. All y'all just being real kind to me. I appreciate it. I'm proud of what I've done here. I'm really glad that you all appreciate it too. And honestly, I think I've said this before, music critic wasn't in my cards at all. And even, 5 years ago, I didn't think that's what I would be doing. And here I am, this is what I do day to day. And I really love it. So the Cuteness Overload Edition. Yeah, we can call it that. I'm down for that. Although it doesn't really talk about too much of the music. This hasn't really been a cute music day. Let's dive into this. See what the bottom is going to make rise, featuring Amelie Dolanská. Let's kick it. Well, that's definitely a bottom of really low notes. That's totally fair. It's funny because I thought they did until you said it. Nah, they really don't. Bride Worship Explosion Edition. That's a good one. Ooh.
In time of need, can't you see?
Perfect vocals.
I start to
this is a Czech group based off of the comments.
the shit. Can't believe my freak is just give me
Okay, yeah. So this album came out last year. So I was thinking the same thing, and I went and looked up Amelie on Write Your Music, and she's not an artist documented there. Nice contrast, yeah. Ah, thanks, Charm Tiger. Yeah, I can't find a Rate Your Music for this band either. Yeah. Yeah, that's a band I got to keep an eye on. That's an immediate pull down. It goes into the next track too. Yeah. So they released an EP called Externally Positive, sticking with the EP acronym there. Back in April of 2019. Looks like they also had, no, that was it. And that's all that's on their YouTube page. And then they have an album. They have 2 albums on Spotify, one from 2020 and one from 2025. Yeah, I gotta. I can kind of hear that now that you mention it, Mark. The hi-hat cymbal work and the general silence. Something about post-punk and prog rock. Yeah, that track, I almost get post-hardcore out of it. Post-punk, I can kind of see that descriptor, but it's a bit heavier than I would expect for that genre. Definitely has some metallic vibes to it. Maybe something closer to metalcore. I really enjoyed it though. The general energy, the atmosphere, the hazy negativity to it all, and the pain in all of the harsh vocals and how they get layered and when they get used. Yeah. I do feel like it went on just a little too long. I don't know if that's just because of the general like singularity of the track. It's very focused on what it does. We have that energy burst in the middle, which I thought was beautiful. A nice pivot away from the more atmospheric stuff we saw at the beginning. But as we return back to the atmospheric stuff at the end of the track, it kind of lost me a little bit, but I love the energy of 1 sec. I love the energy of the vocals throughout all of it, and the guitars sound great too. So I'm sold on it. I'm kind of mad I missed this because it has a chance. If the rest of the album's like this, has a chance it would wind up in the AOTY video. All right, Evil, have a good rest of your week. Yeah, that's good stuff though. I'll be listening to that album today. Maybe I'll try to sneak it into the AOTY video. I'm excited though. There's just something about this. I did think it was going to be older though, given the compression on it. It doesn't sound like a 2025 release. But other than that, I'm stoked about this. Who was that? Jaron? Yeah, dude, good pick. That's definitely going to be my favorite of today. Next up, we got some Zao with the track Autopsy. This one comes at us from Dimmy. Gonna drop in one of my favorite finds of last year. I was catching up with some 90s metalcore bands, and Zao are one of the best bands from that era. This track isn't their usual, but it's still fun. All right. Let's kick this, see what's going on with Zao. That is a gnarly vocal style. Nice riff right there, though. I'm not really sold on the vocals. Pushing out to the sides is interesting. What genre did they mention? Metalcore. Yeah, that fits. Oh, interesting. Oh, good call, Pear. December was just low energy. Everyone was just suggesting some chill stuff. Oh, one of those Ship of Theseus fans. What an unceremonious ending. Also, is that a short track? 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Yeah, very short. They have a song called Ship of Theseus. That would be a pretty cool theme, although I don't know how many bands we could actually do for it. But a band of Theseus, where none of the current band members are the same as the ones that started. The drummer was just, enough of this, and stopped playing. Yeah, the track just kind of ends, which I guess when you have something with that much energy, an abrupt stop is really the best way you're gonna be able to do that, especially with how energetic the entirety of the song was. If it, ramped up, then we could, bell curve it. We could pull it back down. But I mean, you're running at 10 the whole time. You just got to stop, just drop to 0. So the song is an enigmatic tribute to the long surreal history of Zao and its shared parallels with the Ship of Theseus paradox. It also explores the idea that the band is somehow an entity in and of itself beyond its members past and present. Really interesting. Napalm Death, Sepultura. Y'all told me I was pronouncing that wrong, and I've been calling it Sepultura forever. But it's got an extra syllable in it. And I try to correct myself every time until it becomes instinct. Sepultura. Sepultura. I believe the emphasis is on the second. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't know if the when I was a kid is a jab at me or anything like that. I did that when I was too young to know better. None of those two bands have any of their original members left. How about a theme where we each pick 2-minute songs? I think we did that once. Or I don't remember. We did a short tracks one where it had to be like less than 3 minutes or less than 4 minutes. And we did 2 songs. I don't remember if each person picked 2 songs or if I just did 2 reactions every day. But I remember we did something like, I wouldn't mind that though. 2 short tracks from a band. Give me a little bit of variety. I can see a little bit more of what the band's doing without dedicating, like an hour to 2 full reactions. I'm trying to think if I know any bands that I could even suggest for a Band of Theseus theme. Normally, you'd never pick a 2-minute song. I mean, as far as reactions go, like my type of reaction content, what can I really say about a 2-minute track? You're not putting a lot in there, unless it's just going to become a claustrophobic, noise thing. So I don't know that bad value for money. I don't even know if there's much I could say about it. That's the problem. I really think like 5 minutes is probably the sweet spot for the low ends. We've checked out some shorter tracks. We've checked out radio stuff that's like 3.5 minutes. And, depending on the bands, sometimes I'll have something to say about it. Radiohead, they have some shorter songs that I've checked out. But 2 minutes really gets into a territory of what can I say about this track. Leonard Skinner, are they? I don't know enough about them. But like I said, it would work well to kind of give me multiple viewpoints on a band, like 2 different songs or 2 songs with different styles to kind of see the width of a band in a short time. It would be more of an exploratory thing than I would think an analysis, breakdown style, but it could still be fun. And see, there's the other thing too, acoustic guitars or atmospheric tracks that just really nail an atmosphere that if it were twice as long, it would become a little long. Maybe there would need to be more movement, but for 2 minutes, it's perfect. And I can, gush poetically about the emotions in that atmosphere or something. So, yeah, I don't think it is without merit, but I do think it would lead to more of a fun week than an in-depth one, which is fine too. And there's definitely some shorter tracks I could think of. So I always try to gauge themes by if I could contribute to it, because my knowledge isn't as vast as y'all's. So if I can contribute to a theme, probably a lot of people could, unless it's more niche, like genre-based ones. Post-hardcore, I could contribute to that. But if you don't listen to post-hardcore, then that might be a little more difficult. But for something that's not genre-based, it's usually a little bit of a metric point of mine. I remember that You Suffer. What do you say about a 4-second song? Most songs on the radio are around that 3-minute mark, yeah. And I think that's why we don't do a lot of radio tracks on the channel. And when we do, they're on the longer side. The rare 4 to 7 minute radio track. Yeah, I don't think I have much to say about this Zao track though. It's got lots of energy. It does the metalcore thing. There's some sick riffs in there. The transitions are nice, and it is just high octane all the time, all the way through. So, I mean, it's a solid track. I can't get over those vocals though. They lean almost a little bit into the black metal realm. Something about them just doesn't click for me. But other than that, I dig the music. 4-second song with a fade out. People have no attention span. For the 245, yeah, I agree with the Youth Worship Explosion there. There's you can find quality in short songs, but the attention span thing is it's real, man. Even my attention span has dropped drastically, and I don't know if that's cultural. I don't know if it's just me getting older. I've talked about this before. You know, when I watch a movie, I usually watch it in 2 to 3 sittings. I just can't sit there and just watch a movie straight unless I'm like really into it. Some movies grab me, but most don't. And it probably is an attention thing. Stop doom scrolling. Dude, I stopped that like 5 months ago or so because I noticed I was just spending way too much time on Reddit. And so I just deleted the app. And I find I have time for stuff. Isn't it weird? I don't know if it's doing anything for my attention, but it is something that I feel is a drastic improvement to my life. ADHD got bad in the 40s. And see, I'm coming up on my 40s too. I turn, I think this is going to be the first time I mention my legit age, but I turn 38 next week. And I'm feeling it, dude. I'm feeling it. It's weird. It's the 10s that get me. 30 marked a big time. 40 is going to mark a big time. Ah, thank you. We do have one more stream before my birthday if y'all want to save the well wishes, but yeah, it's next week. 38, big number right there. About the same age. Had to break the habit of doom scrolling. Yeah. And see, I think there's a cyclical part of it too, is because I want to stay informed, right? So I tell myself, yeah, dude, this sucks. It's hurting my mental health a little bit. It hurts my productivity. But the opposite is not knowing what's going on. So I might as well doom scroll. And like, I had to get out of that mindset. And that was really something. 2 more years of your 30s. Enjoy it. Post-hardcore scroll. That's good. That's good. You had no idea what age you thought I was? Yeah, I think I've mentioned a couple of times, usually around January when my birthday swings around, and kind of drop the 30 something kind of thing. But yeah, late 30 boy here, coming into his 40s this decade. Just have to limit it. Drips and dabbles of doom. Exactly. You got to stay informed enough, but not let it take over hours of your day. The Critical Reactions Community Home. You know what's funny is in Rocket League, I actually used the Elder Emo title. It says Critical Composer, Elder Emo. Yeah, I love it. I was an emo before it was cool. Oh, geez. Oh, dang, it's 10 after already. All right, we have 6 minutes, and I don't know what that one is. Oh, that one's also 6 minutes. All right, so we probably have another half hour here. Let's get this train back on the road. We got some Bianca here with Somniloquies. This one comes at us from Kipper, a mix of melodic doom and atmospheric black. This is their debut album released in October. The whole album is fantastic. Highly recommend. I double up on that. He's an hour and 10 after his lunch alarm. No, on Sundays, I put some overnight oats together when I wake up. And then when the stream's over, I go and eat them with some fruits. It's a real good midday snack. Not Matt Bianco. Who's Matt Bianco? What was oh yeah, Bianca here. This I gotta double up with Kipper's opinion. This album is fantastic, and for being black metal adjacent, kind of unexpected for me, but I really loved it. So it sounds like a spoiled rich girl name. All right, let's dive into this. Check out the song Somniloquies. All right, FHI, have a good rest of your day. Oh, speaking of title, are you not enjoying it? Or is it just this one issue, Profiles? Gotcha. I really think that's a whistle scream. Yeah, dude, the screams are ridiculous. Yeah, dude, okay. It does kind of remind me of Julie Christmas too, which is probably why I enjoy them. Oh, I didn't realize this was a music video. I love the production here. The drums aren't overbearing, which is one of my biggest issues with blast beats. A screensaver. I believe they call them visualizers these days. Yeah, as Synapse mentioned. Yeah. The clean vocals on this are phenomenal. A screensaver. Good pun. Interesting pair that you hear Townsend in the album. There's places that I can see that parallel, but I don't think I've heard enough Townsend to have drawn that conclusion on my own. foliage sounds. Oh, you know, I didn't even realize it because I locked into the groove at that moment. But yeah, dude, the polyrhythms there. And the layering. Ah, jeez. Yeah, exactly. This part's so good. Like auto-tune screams. That is one of the things I really love about it, is that the vocalist manipulates the perceived pitch of the harshes. But I'll tell you, the whole album is like this. Beautiful cleans, dark, heavy atmospheres, and brutality, but all of it in a really measured way. It's quite, I mean, it's palatable to my ears as far as like black metal goes. So, you know, I haven't thought about Inhale screams since the 2000s, but yeah, dude, maybe. I hear whistle though. There's something about those really high pitched ones where it almost feels like the compression is gone and it's just this tone. And I don't even know if it's really a thing, but it's something that I hear Maria Brink from In This Moment do, where it's almost like she's doing whistle tone operatic singing, where you actually get a whistle out of your vocal folds while also doing compression on top of that. And I don't know if that's possible. I've called it whistle screaming, but I don't know if it's a real thing. I don't know like the science behind that, but that's what it sounds like to me. And there's only like 3 vocalists I've ever heard do it, and I think it sounds so cool. And I don't know how difficult it is. I just, whenever I hear another vocalist do it, I just gravitate to it. Throat singing? No, no, maybe. Well, I mean, obviously the end result's different than throat singing, but maybe the technique is similar. Yeah, very far from true black metal, which is where I was going to go when Youth had mentioned that I like black metal. I do. I like black metal when it's not black metal. But like I do like the blast beats on this album too, and I think a lot of it is because the drums are softer in the production, but also because I forgot who had mentioned it earlier, but also when we get the heavy instrumentation, it's usually when we get the clean vocals. So we get that contrast of the weight of the blast beats with the ethereal elegance of the clean vocals. So yeah, pure black metal, not for me. Mix it with anything else though, and I'm there. Yeah, Agriculture did a good job with their blast beats too, and I really think it comes down to production. Well, and contrasty composition too. This song has many moments to it. And while traditional black metal has moments too, it's more of a riff thing. This riff is different from that riff, but the overall energy and atmosphere tend to be very similar, which is why black metal kind of wears me down. Soft blast beats, yeah. So I enjoy this. I don't know how to do that while screaming, I guess, where you place your tongue and you're harmonizing by manipulating airways. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a vocalist. I don't know the science behind singing. Lounge blast beats. They would definitely have some wild word for it if they wanted to implement it. But yeah, this whole album, it just matches that. Oh, we also had, or I had, black metal on last year's. AOTY list too. I can't think of. I think it was a Russian group. I can hear the words in my head. I just can't. Oh, it wasn't last year. Was it the year before then? I gotta figure this out before we move on. It's gonna annoy me. But this isn't the first time I've had black metal on a recap before on an AOTY video. Charismatic voice just has she further done that? Because I remember seeing the initial video with her and Ramos, and she did a Kickstarter, I think, to raise funds for it, but I haven't seen anything past that. Dimna Lotva. That was the artist that I had. It was 2023. It was in my best albums video. And you know what? I think that was also Doomy. Doomy in black metal with the female lead. I think that's going to be the secret sauce for getting me into black metal. Mixing it with Doom and giving me clean melodic ideas alongside the harsh ones. Her videos are annoying. I don't want to. I don't want to trash her channel, but it's the stopping. Yep. She is so intelligent. I love that she just wants to get the information out as soon as she thinks about it, because it's right there in your mind. And it's something I've battled with on my own channel, that we'll listen to a 20-minute song, then I'll be like, hey, do y'all remember at minute 9:45 when this happened? And like, most of you probably don't. You'd have to rewind it. And so there is like some legitimacy to it. And she's incredibly knowledgeable. And yeah, I do agree. I think she's a very authentic individual. But it gets on my nerves a little bit when I'm listening to it. I'm like, I want this information. And then it's like 10 seconds of the song, and the same 10 seconds, and the same 10 seconds. But I appreciate that it helps with her explanation, which is usually what I'm there for anyways. Dating. Geez, if people actually made videos with any of the headlines that you've written in the last, like 6 months or so. Golly. There is this other reactor that I have found recently, though. I think she plays an instrument, but she also sings well enough that she can sing parts after she's heard them. And as far as I can hear, they're pretty close on pitch. And she'll listen to a song all the way through, give some initial thoughts, and then listen to it again and, put pauses in there when there's something specific she wants to bring up. And I wish I could remember the name of the channel, but I've only seen one video. And I kind of like that format, but it does make for exceptionally long videos. So I don't know if I'd want to incorporate that with my current release schedule, but I do like that medium point there. I can see Brian walking out of a store at night, seeing someone asking for help with jump-starting the car, and then being kidnapped and thrown into the back seat next to the charismatic voice telling Brian that he made a big mistake. What in the world? Big YouTuber Elizabeth Zaroff kidnaps Brian for bad-mouthing her during a stream. Yep, you definitely need to be familiar with the track. After a full listen, edit in quick 10-second clips to illustrate what you're talking about. Yeah, isn't that what Music Shack? always forget this guy's channel. He plays piano, and he'll like play the melody or play the chords along with the song, and it's edited really smoothly. I can't imagine how much editing work goes into it. But his videos, excellent. So I like the pacing and general flow of his information. Shed? I went for shack and hut and forgot about shed. Oh, man. All right. Complaining about her pausing videos. Now she's going to pause his life. The channel wars. All right, let's wrap this up talking about pausing and pacing. Let's check out this final track here from the group Exivioius? There's too many wild sounds there. Exivioius. That's what I'm going to go with. Waves of Thought. This one comes at us from Scarlet Letterman with no context. Let's dive straight into this. See what's going on. Okay. Bit of a rough start rhythmically. Getting into the groove. Dude, your story keeps getting darker. Beautiful bass tone. Love this melody. 2009. Okay. That explains the djenty rhythms. Chat has been dark. We got Brian being kidnapped, Brian being tortured, Brian hanging himself. Dude, that bass tone though. This is not getting monetized. Yeah, this just balances out the love bombing from earlier. At least from Youth Worship Explosion's perspective. Ooh, and talking about, this is a dark turn too. Very ominous. It is a nice atmospheric contrast to all of this energy, though. Yeah, less chaos, more feeling, 100%. Oh, dude, the drum work. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds fretless. It's those little bends, man. It sounds so good. Maybe they're gonna try to merge it here? Oh. kind of reminds me of a slightly less showy offy Animals as Leaders. Yep, 2009 with the atmospheric prog chants. A lot of stuff at the time. So I get the general gist of this track is a constant rising and falling. I do like their attempt to have some fluidity between these ideas, but I think I agree with Charm Tiger. Just a little too Ooh! Love that guitar tone. It's a little too segmented. The Sonic the Hedgehog section. How are they going to wrap this up, though? Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, I mean, that's kind of a lackluster way of wrapping this up. But I guess it's fine. I enjoy moments of this, though. The atmospheric parts, I think, are strong. Anytime the bass gets featured, I enjoy those moments. There's a few guitar tones in here that I really liked. And generally, the grooviness works in spurts. It's not to say that the song loses groove over time, but I do think that it becomes a little long for me. I think 6.5 minutes of this was a bit too much, even though there really isn't a lot of repetition in here. But it is that back and forth between the genty groove and then the atmospheric melodic bits. So I want to dig more into it because I do like what they're doing here. I'm going to pull this down. But I would like a little bit more directionality. I like that they tried to contrast, and I think that their contrasts are good. The atmospheric versions of this sections of the song pair well with the more energetic ones. There just isn't too much of a through line. It seems just kind of random. A 10 versus a 2, and then back to a 10, and then to a 2. And it just feels, as Charm Tiger had mentioned, a bit bipolar, instead of feeling connected and unified, which may be what they were going for. And I kind of hope that maybe this is something specific for this track, and maybe they do have more unified writing on other ones. But the skill is there. I mean, the odd time signatures, the finding groove and smoothness in odd time signatures, the rhythmic syncopations, the polyrhythms, all that is solid. The melodic writing, when it's there, is great. The atmospheres are strong. It just never really turned into a song I wanted it to be, you know? And that's, that's on me. That's my biases coming into the equation. It's like jazz, probably more fun to play than listen to. I can get behind that. You know, that's how I feel about jam bands in general. I love jamming out with people. Watching jamming, it's hit and miss, man. Sometimes you land on greatness, and most of the times it's good. It's interesting to watch people, you know, lock in and, you know each other well enough to bounce ideas around non-verbally. But generally, live jamming just isn't my cup of tea. But dude, I love to jam. That stuff's so fun. But like I said, the talent's here. And I think that to me is one of the best things I can hear in music that I'm not enjoying is talent, because you can always develop experience and improve your writing. And if you come from a place of already having the skills, that's really easy to do. Raspberry or strawberry jam? I'm more of a marmalade, orange marmalade kind of person. But if I have to go with jam, probably blackberry. That stuff's good. Raspberry jam's fine. Raspberry is a good substitute for blackberry, I guess. Live jam is good, but Space Jam is really. Did you know they made a second Space Jam and they put Rick and Morty in it? I can't even. I can't even begin. What's the difference between jam and marmalade? Honestly, I have no idea, but you can't find orange jam. However, orange marmalade usually has rind in it, and maybe that's the big difference. Yeah, Rick and Morty was in the second Space Jam. Space marmalade. uh, I, I, I don't recommend the second Space Jam. It's the funny thing is it almost feels like the film itself is telling you, hey, this is a cash grab, without ever like directly stating it. They didn't pull a Matrix 4 where it's incredibly evident. But it's almost like somebody in the writers team was like, this isn't good. This is just a cash grab from Warner Brothers. I kind of want to introduce this into the narrative somehow. And it's interesting because it's just there right under the surface through most of it, that it almost becomes a bearable sort of tongue-in-cheek film, but it never does. Okay, so I actually liked Matrix 4. I honestly kind of love Matrix 4. It is a terrible Matrix film, but it is a phenomenal subversive film. It is meta-contextual in so many ways. And I think that's what I love most about it. But you really have to be knowledgeable about not just Matrix, but also about the Wachowskis and also about WB's greed. And you gotta put all that together on top of the albeit messy layers that Matrix 2 and 3 tried to work within. It's not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but I really like what they tried to do with it. What is Cloudberry? That does not sound like a real thing. It is not a terrible film. Do I know the film? Yeah, Freddy Got Fingered. That was Tom Green, right? I don't remember anything about it, but I watched it in my teenage years and I vaguely remember enjoying it. If I remember, it's one of those edgy 2000s comedies for like dude bros, college humor. It was right up my alley in my youth. I don't know that I would still like it today. Matrix 4 is the Saint Anger of Matrix movies. I love it. Keep in mind you've never been a huge Matrix fan. That's fair. It was the one film we gave multiple refunds to people walking out. I vaguely remember it being very gross, like visually revolting, which is probably why teenage me found it funny. It's a terrible film, but funny in the idea that Tom Green got away with making it. Oh, that's the opening scene, huh? Cloudberries grow in northern Sweden. Gotta look up a cloudberry. Also, we should probably start wrapping this up. It's going to be turning into a 3-hour stream. These things look delicious, like little, I don't know, tangerine colored raspberries. They almost look like miniature gourds. It's pretty cool. They're good. I don't think I've ever had a cloudberry, but I want one. Are they tart? They kind of look like they'd be tart, but I can also see them being really sweet too. It was a total prank on the studio. You know, when it comes to Tom Green, that makes sense. All right, let's wrap this up. Also, I'm seeing Cynic came from Florida. Miami specifically is where they're formed. So that's pretty cool. A lot of cool Florida groups, man. Let's wrap this up. No, I was gonna do my reaction sign off. Thanks everyone for coming out on this Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you, and hanging out with me, having some good, sometimes interesting conversation, and enjoying these 11 tracks here. I hope you found some stuff you enjoy, maybe some stuff you're going to dig into later. There's no early access for tomorrow because I haven't recorded anything in a couple weeks. That just kind of makes sense. But after that, should be back on track for everything. We have patron polls coming out tomorrow as well. And yeah, I guess that's about it. All right, y'all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you later.